So you clicked on this video because you want to find out more about granule loss. Now in this video we're going to talk about what is granule loss, what causes it, and then why it's important that you and your contractor understand the difference between all the reasons that cause it. Let's get started. Real quick before we get started in the video, I want to tell you a little bit about myself and why you should listen to me. Well, my name is Zach Blinkensop. I'm a U.S. military veteran. I'm a licensed general contractor and roofing contractor in over 9 states. We do projects from Billy up the street with a lot of insurance work, from big projects through the United States government. Anyway, let's get going. Okay, so let's get started. What are granules? Well, granules are real simple, guys. They are these areas right on the top of your shingles, okay? Whether it's an architectural shingle or a 3-tab shingle, granules are on here. And we're going to talk about what granules are actually made of and all that stuff here in a second. However, the only one we're not going to talk about is roll roofing. Now, there is asphalt shingle roll roofing, but we're just not going to talk about it in this video because, well, there's not a whole lot of roofs that are made out of roll roofing anymore, and they're very inexpensive anyway, so we're going to stick to what your basic granules are made of. Now, most shingles are made of crushed rock and tar, a polymer layer, and adhesives. That's what your typical shingle is made of. Now, no matter if it's architectural shingle or a 3-tab. Now, these granules, as you can see on my table here from picking up these shingles, I don't know if you guys can see them in the video or not, but these little guys will fall off. Now, the granules are important for a bunch of different reasons, and we're going to talk about exactly what makes them fall off, and again what you need to know about when you have granule loss. But in a nutshell, that's what granules are. And as a homeowner out there, what you really need to know is they're just the part on the outside part of your shingles. All right, now what causes granule loss? Well, there are a lot of answers to that question, but we are going to go over some of the main points and some of the main causes of granule loss. Now, again, this is an architectural shingle here. Now, your architectural shingles are typically going to have less granule loss than a 3-tab. More of your higher end shingle manufacturers, the granules are going to stay on here. It's going to look better over time. There's more protection, this, that, and the other. But there are some things that can cause granule loss. I do want to start this off by saying, guys, if you just had a brand new roof installed and you see some granules in your gutters, a couple of things probably happened. One is when they were taking the old roof off, there were some granules that came off, obviously with your old roof, and sometimes the contractors don't do a very good job of getting out all those granules from your old roofing system. And then 2, your new roofing system will release some granules when it's first installed. So if you're watching this video because of that, you can stop now, because it's okay, you are going to have a little bit of granule loss. Now, if you're not watching that video for that reason, let's continue to move forward. So, some of the things that cause granule loss. One of the big things is a poorly ventilated roofing system. What happens is you have what's called blistering in a lot of spots. And so what's going to happen is your shingles are actually going to heat up so much they're going to pop, because again, it's made out of tar. You're going to have a pop and it's going to release granules, and then anytime it rains or the wind blows, it's going to push those granules off into, you're probably going to see them in your gutters, and then you're going to see them at the bottom of your downspouts. And then over time, obviously, your shingles are just going to look really bad. You may see spots up there. You're going to start seeing the fiberglass in the shingles start showing, but it just isn't good, obviously. And that's one of the big causes of granule loss is blistering on a roof, and it can cause it to age really quickly and not last nearly as long as it's supposed to. Another thing that you guys, I'm sure, have seen is hailstorms. Hailstorms can cause a ton of granule loss. What happens is these large hailstones come and they hit the shingle, pop, and what happens is it causes your granules to come off, and you're going to be left with a dark spot. Now, it's really hard sometimes to see the difference between a hail hit and a blister, but a trained roofing contractor will be able to tell the difference. The biggest thing you're going to notice is there'll be a depression in your shingle. That's the big way of being able to tell if it was an actual hail hit. But you'll have a big, basically, hole where your granules were. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to penetrate the entire shingle. It takes some really, really large hailstones to actually do that, but it will cause some granule loss. And then if it's a really, really bad hailstorm with a ton of, larger size hail, particularly anything larger than a quarter size hail, is going to cause a ton of granule loss. So if you have a hailstorm come through, and then obviously it normally rains too, go check your downspouts, because I guarantee you that you're going to see a bunch of granules coming out of your downspouts from the hailstorm. Also, windstorms can cause a ton of, rainstorms can cause a ton of granule loss on your roofing system. Now, if you live in an area like I do in North Alabama that has just a ton of thunderstorms, you can still have a ton of granule loss due to the bad storms that we get. That's one of the main reasons why roofing systems in the deep south and then areas in the Midwest that get a lot of bad thunderstorms and rain, those are some of the areas that are just, and then of course, you have wind on top of it that also causes granule loss. This is the reason that our roofs typically won't last as long, combined with the heat, and then it does get cold enough in the winter, especially in the south, just to ice over enough. Of course, in the Midwest, you get a ton of snow, so it's areas that cause, it has a lot of, it's really tough on your roof, and it is going to cause a lot of granule loss. So the weather obviously has a ton to do with that. But then also, if you just have a really, really, really low end type shingle, and it's cheap, and your roofing contractor tells you it's cheap, that's one of the reasons you're going to have a lot of granule loss. But the main component that causes granule loss is going to be weather more than installation or anything else. It's normally going to be the weather. Okay, so the last thing that we're going to talk about is why it's important to understand what granule loss is. Now, a lot of people, and guys, we used to get this phone call all the time. People would say, oh, we had hail on our roof, we want to get our insurance company to pay for the roof. So this is the main reason we're talking about this segment here, is both you and your roofing contractor need to know the difference between a hail hit and a blister. So we would go out, we'd set the ladder up, and we would look in these spots, and we would think, oh, this is hail, right? That's what it looks like even from the ground, because it's really hard to tell the difference between the two. And we would get up there, and sure enough, it would be blisters. Most of the time, you have a roofing system that has a ton of blisters. What has happened is there was an asphalt shingle roof installed over a deck, and that deck is over the top of an attic, and the attic does not have proper ventilation. Either it has soffits, which is the intake, but it doesn't have a ridge vent or any mushroom vents, or there was only one tiny vent and there's a very large attic. So we have another video that talks about ventilation and how many square feet that you need or linear square feet for your ventilation to, with the volume of your attic size. And it's, I won't say complicated, but it's, we have a whole video dedicated to that. My point is that it's from a improperly vented roof in an area normally that gets really warm. So places like North Alabama, where we used to do a lot of residential roofing, this is an area that people would have really, really hot attics if it's not properly vented, and they would have all these bad blisters, and they would wonder what would happen. And it's really the roofing contractor's fault that whoever installed that roof in the first place, or maybe even the builder who didn't install that roofing system correctly. And obviously, cosmetically, it didn't look good, but also the age of the roof was lost or was reduced greatly due to all of the granule loss. And some of these people had to get brand new roofs only after about 8, 9, 10 years of their other roofing system getting installed, because their entire roofing system had been baked. They lost all these granules, they were having leaks, and what happens is the shingle over time, when it's new, it's really bendy. You can bend these, right? Nothing's wrong with this. But what happens when you have a ton of granule loss and stuff, they become brittle and they break, and you can't repair the roof anyway. You have to replace the whole thing, and it's just a bad situation. So anyway, that's why I wanted to talk about the difference between blistering and hail hits. Now, of course, if you have hail hits, before I forget, and get off the subject, that is something that the insurance company will pay for. You need about 10 hits or more within a square on your roof for 100 square feet, and 3 or more planes is the typical insurance policy standard. Okay, and we got another video that's dedicated also to inspections, but again, that's why you need to know the difference between the two. Oh man, I was trying to get done in 10 minutes or less in this video, and I think I did it. We got to finish the editing, but anyway, I won't talk that much more because I want to get it finished up. Guys, I hope this answered all of your questions about granule loss on a roof. If you enjoyed the video, it really helps out our channel a ton if you give us a thumbs up. And if you enjoy our content, guys, and want to see more of it, please subscribe to our channel. And also go to our website at digitalroofingcompany.com/blog. There's a ton of great information on there that sometimes is better to be written than in a video, and we have a lot of full-length articles from the videos. And as always at Digital Roofing Innovations, we believe in a modern approach with traditional values. Have a great day.